Hey everyone, thanks for stopping by. My name is Gary.
And I'm Steve, and today we are going to discuss the difference between web-based email and client-based email. People get confused about this one all the time.
Right, I get emails. I mean, as a tech support person, I get quite a few emails from people. And I'll have people that email me with problems with their email. And when I respond back to them and I say, how do you check your email? A lot of times the response I get back is not exactly what I was looking for. What I mean when I say, how do you check your email, is do you use a client for your email or do you use the internet? And so that's kind of what we want to show you today, the difference between the two, so that way it's easy to understand and you can really tell the differences.
Let's take a quick look at what these actually look like on your computer. That's probably a good place to start. So let's turn to the computer. We're going to look at
a client email here. This is Windows Live Mail. This is what comes with Windows 7. With Windows Vista, you would get Windows Mail. They're very similar. These are, as you can tell, an actual program. Up here in the corner it says Windows Live Mail, and that's what indicates to you that this is a client email program. Now, these programs themselves, they don't use the internet as the way you would picture it. They're not a website. They actually download your email right here onto your computer.
Right, the email comes from the server and it gets copied and deleted then from the main server, and it ends up on your computer ultimately. That's the big difference. When you're using a web-based email, what happens is you're actually looking at those emails right on the server. That email is actually never copied and transferred to your computer, whereas with a client-side one, it is.
Right, so let's go ahead and take a look here at the other option. This is going to be a web-based email, and you'll notice for this one, first of all, I just opened up Firefox. Up here up top it says worldstart.com mail inbox, but it also says Mozilla Firefox. That's going to be the huge difference here. I can go to any computer in the world and I can open up this address and it will show me my email. There's no client, there's no program other than the browser. The mail is here, and it's always going to be here no matter what. There's no downloading it, and there's no deleting it from a server or anything unless I delete it from the screen here specifically.
Now, a lot of people are wondering, well, what's the difference? Why should I pick one or the other, or is there an advantage to having one over the other? Right now, we lean more towards telling you, hey, you know what, webmail is probably the way to go. Couple of reasons for that. Well, first of all, let's go back in time a little bit. The reason you had client-side email to begin with is because everybody had painfully slow internet connections. I mean, you were looking at 14K download speeds. It was miserable. So what you do is you'd go in there in the morning, you'd open up your email client, hit send and receive, and it would slowly download all that stuff. Then later when you came back, you wouldn't even have to be on the internet to go through and look at those text messages. With webmail, that made it a little bit more difficult, but now that everyone's got high-speed connections, it makes it a little bit easier to use webmail.
Right. So obviously, if you're when you're on the internet, you just go on. Your mail's there. There's no need to sit there and wait for it to download and then disconnect because everybody's always connected now. The other big, huge difference between a client email and a web-based mail is the security. There's a little bit of a trade-off, but overall, webmail is going to be a little bit better. Webmails require, anyone can log into webmail. It asks you for a username and a password, and you're in. A client-based email program is a little bit more secure because you also have to know a server name and you have to know, a few other security tweaks to get it working. But you have to sign into webmail, so there's a little bit of an offset there. But the big difference is the security of your computer. When you're using a web-based email program, you're looking at the email on the web. It's not downloading to your computer, so you're not getting the chance of downloading a virus right onto your computer without even having the option to say yes or no.
Yeah, for that matter, you probably can't even see a virus if you're using a web-based email client, because if you're using a client-side email client, you have to have an antivirus program that's up to date, that's scanning those incoming messages in a lot of cases. Otherwise, you could actually download a virus. With a web-based client, or a web-based email system, they're already looking for them. If they find something that's got a virus in it, you never even see it. It just gets completely tossed out. So from just from that one little standpoint, there's a lot of security there. Plus there's a convenience to all this too, of course, in that you can log on anywhere in the world as long as you have a web browser and take a look at your email. Whereas if you're using a client-side one, if you're not using the computer that happens to have your client on it with all your, as Gary said, server settings and passwords and login authentications, then, well, you're out of luck.
All right, so I think that wraps it up, right?
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So I guess the only thing that's really maybe left to say is with the web-based email client, the only real security problem that we can really come up with is what we call an over-the-shoulder attack. If you're in a coffee shop and you're getting ready to log on, if somebody happens to be behind you and they look over, they can get into your email, and that's a very serious security flaw. So just make sure you're careful when you're logging in, but beyond that, we recommend webmail right now.
All right. So we want to thank you for stopping by. Our website again is www.worldstart.com. You can sign up for our Computer Tips newsletter there, where we have a bunch of great tips that go out every day. We also have a great place for you to go and ask us any kind of questions you have. You can go to worldstart.com/ask and just ask any question there. We'll be happy to answer them for you.
Thanks for watching.